friends, welcome back to She's At It Again. My name is Tanya. This is a Saturday morning and we've been invited to a gathering this evening with, I don't know, anywhere from 20 to 100 people. We're not really sure how many are coming, but those of us in the first part of the alphabet have been asked to bring a savory dish to this gathering tonight. It's just going to be a kind of gathering, a potluck, something very informal. But I decided to make some baked olives, but I didn't want to start them without letting you in on it. So yesterday I made the dough. You've already seen the preview of that probably, or maybe it's being placed just after this introduction. I'm not sure how my editor will do that. But anyway, we're showing making the dough. It's just a simple dough. This is actually a pizza crust dough, but you can use any homemade dough you want. You could buy some dough from the store, but come on, people, why do that? We're trying to make better choices here. There's so many preservatives in anything you're going to be buying at the store. So just make your dough ahead of time. I put mine in the refrigerator overnight, so I have drained my olives and put them in a dish to dry. And we're going to be wrapping these in some bread and baking them off, putting some rosemary on it. I think I just gave you the recipe. Anyway, so let's go over here and you can enjoy watching me make some baked olives. Trust me, these are good. People are so curious about it. You probably need to put a sign on it that says what it is if you're taking it to a formal, an informal gathering like this, because people will just pick it up, pop it in their mouth thinking it is a dessert. Trust me, that would be a shock because the olives are very salty. Now, you can use any kind of olives you want. I just happen to have those big Queen pimento stuffed olives from Costco, but we love olives in this house, so nothing with an olive in it is going to be a bad thing. So let's go over and make some baked olives. All right, I got this shiny pan. Oh, look, you can see my ceiling fan going. And hello, you can see me. All right, I've got this shiny stainless steel pan, and we're going to put these in that. I poured out the olives, and there were 19 of them, so I just put 3 of them aside, have 16 left. They'll fit nicely in this pan, I think. But let's just do this and find out. Here's my dough. I have it in my oiled bag that I normally store my pizza crust in. And I'm going to dip this in some flour over here. Actually, I'll bring the flour over there with me. We'll put it on the counter. Now you could actually take and just pinch off little sections of this and wrap the olives in it, but I think I'm going to roll mine out. I don't want to put too much flour on here because I do want the dough to stick well to the olives, but I think maybe I can just portion it out a little better if I do it like this. If you have a big jar of olives and it doesn't matter how many you're putting in the pan, you just kind of want to fill it up and you're just willy-nilly going with the flow, then you could pinch little sections of dough off, wrap them around the olives, and that would be just fine. I just happen to have 16. I know they'll fit in this, and this is being taken to a gathering, and I want it to look, well, sort of presentable. Anybody that shows up with a stainless steel pan is probably not too worried about being showy, but at least it's better than a paper plate or something. I don't know. I just have to remember to make my little sign to put on it. Okay, I was saying earlier, this is actually pizza dough. You can use, if you've watched this channel for very long, you know I make pizza pretty often, and I have a certain pizza dough recipe, and I leave it in the refrigerator for like 4 to 7 days. The longer it stays in there, the better it gets. This is my quick pizza dough recipe with the Greek yogurt, flour, baking powder, and salt. That's all there is in it, and it is absolutely fabulous. This does not have to ferment in the refrigerator for that many days, but I did want it to sit overnight because it just behaves better. When you roll it out, it stays where you put it. It doesn't, roll it out and then draw back up into a little tiny circle. So that's what I was going for, was some dough that would relax. But as far as the flavor, I think this is going to be really, really nice. Okay, I'm going to get a pizza. No, you know what? I'm not going to do a pizza cutter. I'm going to do my little bench scraper here because I can divide this up very nicely. Some of those pieces are a little bigger than others. I'm going to move some dough around here. Some of them aren't as big as the others. You know how we want everything to be the same. All right, so basically I have my olives drying off in this paper towel lined bowl. And I'm going to take these, just flatten them out as much as I can. Make sure the olive's dry on the outside or else it might make your dough separate at the top. I'm just going to make mine into little purses like this. I'm just gathering it at the top. It almost looks like a little Chinese dumpling or something like that. Your pan does not have to be oiled or greased or anything like that unless you just want to do that. And I'm going to put mine in there just like that. Bring the corners up to the top. Make sure it's sealed. You don't want to bake it and then have them coming open. All right, so this is just going to be showing me doing some of the rest of these. Pretty anticlimactic, so we'll probably speed the video up at this point. Okay, so here are our 16 pastry wrapped olives, and I'm going to go out in the sunroom and preheat my little convection oven out there to 350 degrees. Now the nice thing about it is you don't have to wait an hour for these to proof and rise. They will do that just fine in the oven. So what we're going to do next is put some crushed rosemary on that. And I think I want to put some olive oil on the top of it just so it'll stick a little better. So I'm going to put a tiny bit of olive oil in here. Not too much. And I'll get my pastry brush and brush that on the top. Let me put this cup up. All right, so I'm just going to take my brush and hit the tops of these. Some of them don't want to stand upright, and that's okay. I'm hoping they will rise enough to where they'll kind of all touch each other. They'll kind of look like a pan of biscuits or something, all snuggled up together. This is just crushed rosemary. I probably should have gone out in the yard and clipped some off my fresh rosemary, but I didn't. So I'm going to break this up just a tiny bit. I should have put it, you know what? I'm going to put this in my mortar and pestle. I use this thing a lot more than what a normal person probably should. I love this silly thing. I used to just have an inexpensive one for years, and I'd force myself to use it just because I thought, oh, come on, that's what it's for. I'm supposed to use it. But when I got this one, even though sometimes the stuff kind of jumps out like it's doing right now, especially the dried rosemary, but I use this thing so much when I make popcorn. I actually take my Himalayan pink salt and do this with it, and it makes it super fine and it sticks to the popcorn. It is just fabulous. So I'll show you the difference that this makes. All right, so you can see how big this rosemary is in there. Kind of looks like shredded grass. This is what it looks like now. It's going to stick to that considerably better. There we go. That's much better. And we like a lot of rosemary on ours. You don't have to add any salt to this, obviously, because olives are very, very, very salty. So the salt has been taken care of you, courtesy of the nature of olives. And the brine that they're in, of course. Olives aren't necessarily naturally that salty, I don't think. Okay, that was probably at least about a teaspoon worth of rosemary there. All right, I'm just going to kind of spread these apart a little bit, picking up some of that rosemary on the bottoms of them too. Sometimes the pieces of rosemary look more like somebody accidentally dropped the branches in there. I want to pick those pieces out. I don't want those in there. All right. I'm going to go turn my little oven on. We're going to bake these. We'll come back and I'll let you see what these look like once they've been baked up. We're probably going to bake them for about, I'd say 10 to 15 minutes, but I'll let you know when we come back. All right, here's what they look like. Maybe if I had let them rise a little bit. It's been a long time since I've made these. This is the first time I've used this kind of dough. I normally use just bread dough, but it makes so much, I just didn't want to make that many of them. But I'll put these on a pretty little serving platter. It kind of gives me excuses to change pans. But anyway, this is what they look like. And they're soft and pillowy on the inside. And it's got a little bit of crunch on the outside. Anyway, now you get to see what they look like. Okay, guys, hopefully we'll have fun at this get together. I can't imagine not, because these are people from my Bible class. So these are people I love. Not one single one of them I'm like, no, we love all of them. All right, so thanks for joining us, and we look forward to sharing something again with you real soon. I'll put the recipe in the description as always, and like I said, use any kind of homemade bread dough you want to with these. But the nice thing about olives is these don't have to be refrigerated now. These can set out at room temperature. You can warm them up before you serve them, or you can put them in the fridge if you want them cold. But I just think these are going to be perfect at room temperature. So thanks for joining us, guys. Comment in the comment section if you have any questions. I will be so quick to answer these as soon as I turn my computer on. I don't have it on all day long, but as soon as I see a question, I immediately respond to it. So anyway, if you have questions or comments, feel free to do that. So look forward to sharing something again with you real soon. Bye, guys.